Take a seat, take a breath. Got a feed that decides life and death. Every chart is a mountain, a meme, a decree. Is this genius or mass lunacy? Stroll with me down this wild mentality, where a frog with sunglasses screams we're early endlessly. We'll see bulls and bears in fantasy. Every post's a prophecy.
It's nothing make-believe.
If you want to read what passes for a master plan, simply click and flick your thumb across this broken land. Want to know which way the winds of crypto might just be? Oh, scroll with me. One says up, only friends. Next says this is how it ends. Someone's calling the top, someone's buying the dip, someone's typing a thread as their last relationship slips. Scroll with me through the fear and ecstasy, where a charting crayon gets 1,000 hearts for free. You'll see every hot take, every plea. I was right in 23.
Trust the vibe, ignore the spreadsheet.
If you want to gauge if hope or panic's in command, if they're building castles or just castles in the sand, want to test if we're all early or just fantasy? Scroll with me. Is it signal? Is it noise? Are we traders? Are we toys? Every candle, every coin is a cult you can join. Scroll with me, let the chaos be our key. Read the mood like it's a map to some great mystery. You'll see faith and doubt and harmony. I'm all into, I'm set free.
In one day, in one same tweet.
If you want to know if folks are brave or out of time, if they're quietly convicted or have simply lost their minds, then my friend, you found the perfect place to start this stream. So scroll with me.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Thanks, Anthony, for having me back in the chat. Once again, StreamYard, fuck you. Why would you default to the microphone that's not producing any sound? Why would you do that? You know? Why would you do that? But what I was saying is be like Anthony, get in the chat. He asked, is this the new director of ecosystem and growth of Doodles being live on X? Yes. Yes, it is. Because, new job, who dis, same shit, different day, and we're going to let this change us, But for those of you who are new here, who haven't tuned in before, my name is Dude Lifts. It is Wednesday, March 4th, 8:45-ish Mountain Standard Time. And what we do here is we scroll crypto Twitter and we try to figure out what the fuck is going on. We try to discern the true from the false, separate the wheat from the chaff. If you can hear my dog barking downstairs, then that's life, But alas, let us begin to scroll. Let us observe. Okay, Anthony asks, which one should I get? What does that even mean? Which dog? Asking what kind of dog should you get? I mean, I know I got a doodle. What can I say? I'm congruent through all of my verticals. I got a doodle. My dog is a doodle. So if you're asking what kind of like dog to get that's a doodle, we have an Aussie doodle. She's fantastic. A lot of work though. Just got to say. But what kind of doodle should you get? The OG kind? I'll give you the same advice that I got when I joined the Discord in, what was it, May of 22 or something like that. They told me to find a doodle I vibed with, and I found a doodle I vibed with, and it also vibed with, the amount of ETH in my wallet, being that it was the cheapest doodle on OpenSea. But I had actually been shopping for a headband doodle. That's why it felt very serendipitous, because I wanted to start a fitness brand using my doodle. And so I was like, I need to get a headband because it's the only trait that translates to like a real world hobby besides like smoking cigs, which, hey, more power to you. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt, got the blood clot. Long story. But I don't know. There's a ton of great doodles, if you're asking me, that are on sale. And so, yeah, I'm grateful. Speaking of headband doodles, I just got my OG doodle back. So now I've got the popsicle doodle and I've got the OG headband dude lifts with all my artisanal, art commissions and all my memes. I couldn't be more excited. So, but let's see here. We're going to go to Zach, then we're going to scroll, and then we're going to scroll. You know the vibes. I don't make the rules, but I do. Zach says, it's crazy to see how much progress we made since October. Community-led product development has been at the core of this progress. Community is letting us know what they would like for us. Prioritizing the team is shipping. Dude, that's true. The OS team is based. I don't even want to say they're based. There's something else. But yeah, they've been working hard on the OS mobile thing. And I've been saying this for months, if not years. The OpenSea acquisition of the Floor/Rally team, great acquisition. And I do think it's interesting that they haven't debuted a lot of Solana features, being how Solana pilled Chris Mattern, their CTO, is. So I'm very interested to see how that kind of shows up in their mobile app. But yeah, hopefully it'll be the place that you can trade everything, is what they're saying. And I tend to agree. Did I buy my recent doodle on OpenSea? Yes. What do we got here? Flow Foundation. Oh, Grant DAO round 2. 50,000 flow. Nice. Sick. Yeah, if you're building a hackathon, dude, playing with AI agents, sign up. Oh, and then there's also PL Genesis too, which I actually want to sign up for. I actually want to submit FlowClaw to PL Genesis to win a bagish and maybe get a trip to Dubai or something. Okay, I did see this. So Kraken says Kraken Financial has been granted a Federal Reserve master account, making us the first digital asset bank. Oh, digital asset bank. New term unlocked. Access to the U.S. payment systems. I have no idea what that means, if I'm being honest. Because what does that mean? I'm like, yeah. ChatGPT, Grok, is this real? But I'm like, it's really interesting to see this kind of stuff. And I don't want to discredit them at all. I think this is whatever the fuck it means. Sounds great. And we definitely need to meet the financial system where it's at. And so like gaining access to it in its current iteration is important. I think that's all good. But there's almost like a feels like metric. I'm like, have I felt like crypto hasn't had access to the traditional financial system? Because I can on-ramp and off-ramp with Coinbase, ZK P2P, whatever, relatively easily. So I haven't felt that pain, but maybe this unlocks some additional institutional opportunity. So who knows? Who knows? Are we going to find out more? No. What do we got here? We got Austin Oaks from Gemini says, I think something about the white cheddar is throwing me off, but it is rare when McD's drops a new burger like this. I'm conflicted and a push to try it. Don't know what that means. If you have had the Big Arch, thoughts. Dude, I've not had the Big Arch. I haven't had it. I haven't taken a big bite or a small bite. But I will say that in my world travels, I've frequented a McDonald's or two. No, I actually make a point of going. I know it sounds silly, but I make a point of going to McDonald's whenever I travel as much as I can, because they do have international menus, and I think it's interesting. Like when we were in Japan, we had the Samurai Mac. So it's like McDonald's is actually pretty good about, they test. It's kind of funny. They test a lot of products internationally and then rarely bring them back to the US. So I don't know what that is. It's an interesting thing. Maybe because their logistics pipeline in the U.S. is the largest of all of them. But Japanese McDonald's cooks, not just like the actual food, but like all of it. It cooks. But I don't know. My folks, we grew up around fast food, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, and so like McDonald's conferences, all that kind of stuff. So very interesting stuff. Let's see what Zier says here, but we're not going to show more because we know the rules. The funniest part about the new paid partnership disclosure, some creators aren't using it because they're actually getting paid. They're using it to create the perception the brands are paying them. Yes, I wondered when this would happen. Yep. That's a classic trick, classic mess around. Oh, Winterpop in the chat says, just had the burger. It's gross. You've heard it here first, ladies and germs. The big arch, disgusting. So yeah, take Winterpop's word for it or go try it yourself. But glad to have a report from the streets about the big arch. Yeah, I can't say that I'll be trying it, because your boy is mostly gluten-free and dairy-free right now. So there's that. So I vacillate between carnivore and vegan, and that's the vibes. So alas, we progress. Apple's new MacBook Neo. Wait, is that actually what the fuck is that? No wonder they had a 3-day long event. MacBook Neo may be more important for AI adoption than any Frontier model. It has an A18 Pro. Oh, the same thing from the phone. Interesting. Wow. But did they release the new Mac Studio? If not, gonna die. Let's see here. But that is interesting. And honestly, Josh Kale is a great follow from Bankless, who's just staying on top of AI shit. So we love to see it. Warner, my worst travel nightmare is hit me traveling while sick with a stomach flu. Dude, shout out to our fallen soldiers, dude. Warner, All right, Apple Hub. Apple's introduced the new MacBook Neo. Yeah, that's crazy. Wait, is it really that big? Everyone, is this really the smart? I mean, I guess a $599 laptop is pretty good with a phone chip. I mean, the phone chip's powerful enough. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I feel like they lean so hard on like the iPad can do everything and like just throw a keyboard on your iPad that it feels. I do like the colors though. They needed to do that. They needed to give some of those retro vibes, but yeah, I don't know. Not sold. But you know what could actually cook though? Ooh, education. And I don't know what the current state of public education is in this regard, but when I was growing up in elementary school, we got a bunch of iMacs in our library, and that was like, oh shit, these things were colorful, they were awesome, they were powerful. It was really interesting. I think Apple at the time was making an education push, and I think it paid off. It paid dividends because then they had a generation of children who wanted to buy Apple products, despite the business world saying you should only use Windows. Look how that fucking turned out. So this could be interesting in the way that is very inexpensive. Well, I know there's like Chromebooks and stuff like that. Yeah, actually there's Chromebooks. So I don't know how this stacks up, but it could be interesting nonetheless. We get a Brian Johnston clip. Bada bing, bada bing. Dude, I've been following this Nansen thing. I need to dive in. I mean, Nansen's like so OG, but they're leaning into AI. And I just have avoided it because I don't have a Nansen subscription. And that has felt like a blocker, which may not even be real. So hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Proof we are not in a simulation. What? Sorry, Nate. Don't know what that means. Eddie. What the fuck is this? Eddie. I don't want to see anybody die on my timeline, bro. I was like, what is this? And then I'm like, yeah, hopefully. So posthumous trigger warning. Jesus, I guess that's the state of affairs. Okay, let's all cleanse our palates here from that. Thanks, Eddie. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so we've got Coinbase here. Yep, you can trade stocks on Coinbase because everything's a commodity now and everything's drifting towards being the same thing, just including the $599 Apple laptop, which is the same as a Chromebook, which is aiming for the education market. Okay, I get it. They're releasing a new fucking laptop. God damn it. Nikita, timeline too sensitive. Okay, the timeline is too sensitive. I spent 3 seconds looking at the William Shatner Twitter X debit card post yesterday, and that's all I saw for the next 10 minutes. Can the devs do something, please? Can the devs do something? These are NYC's bag dogs. MTA said a dog in a bag. Oh, that's hilarious. Wait, they just put the fucking giant dogs in IKEA bags? Shut the fuck up. Okay, I mean, it's in a backpack. That makes sense. Corgi in a backpack, got it. But the giant dogs in the IKEA bag is wild. I love that. Okay, I saw this morning. So Tether invests in WAP. That makes sense. They own more gold than anybody. So sure, buy gold.com. Sure. Anchorage makes sense. Ledin, don't know what that is. But then 8 Sleep. That's interesting. I guess I see it as a growth vertical. I personally, I'll stand on business here. I am a BedJet guy. I've been a BedJet guy for years. It's like, if you buy like the kitted out version, I think it's like $500 all in, but you can spend like $350. And it's essentially an air conditioner for your bed, which is what 8 Sleep is also doing, except 8 Sleep can pop and then you just wake up covered in water per Deez's tweets, which I did not know was a phenomenon until Deez tweeted about it. So yeah, that can happen. And I know that 8 Sleep is like, they're measuring your shit and fucking, whatever, you pay a subscription probably, and that's a good revenue model, whatever. But product to product, I'm going BedJet. Plus, if you're a white noise person, which I didn't even think I was, BedJet. Just saying, BedJet. And to be fair, I've become less optimization pilled as time has gone on in regards to like wearables and shit like that. Like, so does my bed need to be telling me the quality of my sleep? Probably not. I actually would like to see some kind of like long-term meta-analysis, whatever, on like, does kind of like biofeedback in that way actually change behavior? I'm sure that's a simple answer, so please let me know in the comments. If your marketing team doesn't actively discuss GTM sequencing every week, you're cooked. I just love this meme. It's a great meme. Great meeting, although Elon had me laughing. Oh, is that John Shahidi? Dude, I barely recognize that guy. Wild. Crazy. Dude, remember when they were doing NFTs? Full send card, LOL. Japanese chocolate-covered pancakes. See, this is the kind of videos we need. Look at that. Look at this souffle pancake covered in chocolate. Dude, speaking of, and I really don't want to sound like a hater. Souffle pancakes, I feel like they're simply not good. I'm sorry. The ratio, and maybe because I'm accustomed, and I like my pancakes thin. I'm almost like a crepes guy, you know what I mean? But like the ratio of syrup to pancakes, very doughy. Sometimes it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not there for me. I love Japanese cuisine, but not the souffle. Dude, why is this shape? Why does it keep coming? The new MacBook Neo has 8 gigabyte. See, finally a balanced take. Thanks, Peter Steinberger. We appreciate you. Wait, is this a concept or is this real? This is real. Let's look at this. Dude, I got to say this. I've seen a ton of sneakers be announced recently. They all look like this. Across multiple brands, they all look like this, and they're ugly as fuck. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is. I feel like ever since the Gutter Cats like heat map shoe, maybe it's just like the basketballification of sneakers or something. I don't know. I don't mean to sound like a hater this morning, but maybe I've just got it. I just got that dog in me. You know what I mean? Founders, if you're obsessed with building great things, I want to fund you at the earliest possible stage. Sick. I would say Alexis Ohanian is scouting out some interesting verticals. He's like, if you're building a new trade school, because that's probably one of the few things safe post AI, I want to fund you. I guess he funded maybe Mod Retro too. Alexis Ohanian, he cooks. He cooks. Had a first interview for a job today. I feel like I absolutely crushed it. Hell yeah, King Ball. Hell yeah. I swear to God. Dude, I'm actually going to say I'm not interested in this post. The two things that I've said that today on is possible, war footage, death and destruction in the MacBook Neo, just to let you know where I'm at. Dude, I saw this Ultra Siggies.app, the most comprehensive archive of Chinese cigarettes to exist on the Western net. I love that. I love that. Ultra is just the best. T in the chat says, hi, hello, G Scroll. I just said I didn't want to see one. But I didn't refresh yet. So that one's on me. Dude, I need to check out these Zeet cards. I've seen everyone posting about the Zeet cards. I've always loved what Pons is up to. Feels like he's got a good head on his shoulders. So I need to dive in. All right, just paid $45 at the airport for a waiver to board a plane because I only have my driver's license and not a real ID. Oh, yes. That's weird. Because my understanding is that at least for a domestic flight, you don't even need ID to actually board the plane. You just have to say, I lost my identification. It happens. And then you can be subjected to additional screening, which is like a few short questions, maybe an additional pat down. It's like you don't, from my understanding, even need an ID. But then there's this whole real ID thing, which I have. Oh, good. Dude, X Money will be big. Dude, speaking of X Money, I thought one of the things that was funny is one, picking William Shatner to like champion this. Incredible, because he's actually like 95 years old. So great choice. Genuinely. I mean that. Because if William Shatner can do it, anyone could do it. Reaches a whole different demographic, to be honest. But they are also offering like 6% APY on savings, like high yield savings account, digital bank, neobank, all that jazz. And a lot of people in the comments are like, 6%? That's impossible. They must be subsidizing this. It can't last forever. It's like, yeah, probably. But also like, dude, wait till you find out about crypto yields, bro. Oh my God. I mean, T says 6% is great. Yes, it is very good in comparison to, 0.1% on savings for most traditional banks, 3 to 4% for high yield savings for like or like what am I thinking of? Like the SoFis of the world that have no overhead. But then there's like crypto yields, bruh. The cinematography and motion graphics. God, I got baited into that. Son of a bit. Hey, look at the time. Before I get triggered again. A record number of American workers are pulling their money from 401ks to cover financial emergencies. Oh, yeah, not good. K-shaped economy. All right. It is 9 a.m. It is Wednesday, March 4th. We will be back tomorrow morning. T says summer 3% will back up to 250K. FDIC insurance for the win. But we'll be back tomorrow morning to scroll the timeline. And until then, I'll see you in the timeline. Bye.